give the people what they want. Welcome to another edition of Power to the People radio show. To our Buffalo audience live on the air, to our Atlanta, Georgia audience live on the air, and to those of you in between all over who are watching, thanks for watching. Thanks for stopping us at the store and anywhere else to say that you listen. I have people stop me at funerals saying they listen to the show, and they're very much appreciated. Because we put a lot of work into trying to bring you news you could use and just interesting topics and topics that sometimes are not talked about at the kitchen table and advancing people, period. But not being ashamed to advance the black agenda. You know, it's okay to say black. Same way it's okay to say Italian. It's okay to say Polish. It's okay to say Jewish. We should not be ashamed to look at the news as it pertains not only to all of America, but especially to black and brown America. So welcome to the show. It is Friday. We got a lot of stuff to talk about today. And first of all, how was your week?
The week's been good. You know, this is the most wonderful time of year. Football is back in session.
Football.
Yeah, football is back in session. So, you know, I coach high school football. So we started camp this week. So that's exciting. And, you know, just being around the kids, you know, it has its highs and lows. But I was able to get away for a little bit, so have some self-care before getting into camp. So it was a good week. It was a good week.
Good week. Well, mine was totally busy. So many funerals, so many homegoings this week. And Thursday, unfortunately, we buried a 5-year-old with her 7-month fetus that was in the mom's belly, growing, and that baby didn't make it. And so we said farewell to them in a horrific car fatality crash. And so big ups to that family who put both babies away. And this, I saw something that I have never seen before. Yeah. And that is, I have buried double, I've had double services, but this one, the baby, which was cremated, the fetus, which was cremated, was inside of a teddy bear. Yeah. I've never seen that before.
Yeah, that was a nice little touch. And I think it honored, you know, his sister being able to, you know, hold him on the other shore.
Yeah. So that was amazing. And then another young lady who allegedly was unalived by a person she was in a relationship with. And that was her. All of them are heartbreaking. Yeah. But then a 93-year-old woman. Yeah. And then we still have another one that we did on Friday and another one next week. And so I'm always honored to be able to share those last words, to do those eulogies. And two of them are not even at our church. Yeah. And I thank those pastors who would allow me to come in and do that. So last week, after we talked about black journalists, talked about our local stations here, I did get a photo from one, and I won't say from whom, but from a black journalist who was at the convention in Atlanta, the National Association of Black Journalists. They just held their convention in Atlanta, Georgia, and they sent me a picture of all of these black journalists who were there, who came through Buffalo. And let me say it again, who came through Buffalo. Not in Buffalo, not necessarily. They came through Buffalo. And so I'm not going to belabor the point of what we talked about last week, except for the fact, and this is the wild thing. We didn't set up last week's show knowing what was about to break loose in Atlanta.
Absolutely not.
At the National Association of black journalists. And what that basically is black journalists from across the country, if not across the world, who get together. They have workshops, just like a church convention for black journalists. And there was a lot that went on at the NABJ, and one of them, they had a salute to excellence.
Yes.
But then they had a different one that was not necessarily a salute to excellence, but was almost a thumbs down, I think they call it.
Yeah, it's called the Thumbs Down Award, and this award has been given out since like 1989, I believe. It's supposed to be given out to a black journalist who they feel they want to hold accountable.
So it goes to a black journalist.
Yes.
So it's not an award that could go to any other journalist. Right. It's got to be a black.
Yeah.
So wait a minute. Let me get this right. A black organization does a thumbs down.
Yeah.
Let's just unpack that for a minute. To another African American that's in the media and say thumbs down.
Yes.
Now
you got me looking at winners. Hold on.
Okay, like I'm not a part of black journalists. I mean, I'm black. I do, but I'm not a part of the organization. But what? Okay, that sounds interesting.
Yeah, and it is. So this, then you started talking. I was trying to figure it out. So this year they issued it to a very prominent, people. He's spent his whole career in sports journalism, coming up through Philly and a lot of other places. HBCU grad, so he's big ups to he lifts up HBCU week and promotes it. Takes his national show on ESPN to historically black colleges throughout the year, and probably one of the largest journalistic personalities out right now, and his name is Stephen A. Smith.
Okay, for those who don't know Stephen A. Smith, who is he?
So Stephen A. Smith, like I said, he's a sports journalist.
Okay.
He made his national platform, joining one of the morning shows on ESPN, kind of in a debate type show. So back and forth with another journalist or other panelists, and then he became the face of the show. Okay. And he then became the face of ESPN. So he has one of the largest contracts at ESPN. And so here's where the turn came, because, when you're criticizing athletes, nobody's really, it's like part of the
par for the course.
Par for the course. That's the term.
Okay.
So in recent years, he decided to launch his own platform because people and execs at ESPN didn't want him taking so many political turns on the network.
Okay.
So he created his own called, I think, a Straight Shooter, whatever. He has a podcast. He's on Sirius XM. So there is where you see a lot more of his political stances and his unadulterated opinions about any topic he wants to talk about.
Okay.
So in this past year especially, he's been very critical of liberals, but he's also saying, it's people in general. Because he will say, I'm not a Republican, I'm not Democrat, I'm independent, and I have the same issues with both. But so the NABJ issued the award, and this was their main comment, because he demonstrated a recurring pattern of disparaging commentary towards prominent black women in politics, particularly Jasmine Crockett, sports, and media, and argued that his commentary can reinforce harmful narratives about black women. And that was the reason what they gave for giving him the Thumbs Down Award.
So, by the way, there were 4 other recipients.
Okay.
So, number 1 was Stephen A. Smith. Number 2 was CBS News.
Oh, wow.
They included the network among the organizations it believes had engaged in conduct contrary to its goals regarding black journalists,
Okay.
newsroom equity, and journalism's public service mission. Number 3, the Washington Post also received the distinction, raised concerns about practicing affecting journalism and black journalists. Number 4, FCC Chairman Brendan Carr. This one gives you another whole radio, because the NABJs, because I'm definitely reading what is suggested. Criticism extends beyond an individual journalist to the federal government's relationship. And number 5, DeJohn McCoy, the television station owner and media executive, was the 5th 2026 recipient.
Wow. So So he's already fired back, and he's fired back because he feels that it's a political and a personal hit job. That's a direct quote from him. And he rejected the suggestion that he has a problem with black women. And, on his show, he talked about the strongest people in his life are black women. His love for his sister, who he talks about all his time, his love for his mom, and so on. And he suggested that the NABJ has its own issues internally that he's been quiet on for years. And his biggest comment was, this is basically one of the first years he didn't go and didn't support it physically. And this was the time that you gave me a thumbs down award.
But he normally goes.
Yes. Last year he took ESPN, his ESPN show First Take. He took it to NABJ and hosted it from there.
So in 2021, they gave thumbs down to University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill and his board of directors. And it was around during the controversy, which I don't remember, the surrounding journalist Nicole Jones, creator of the 1619 Project, and the university's handling of tenure for her faculty appointment. In 2020, they gave it to the Cleveland, listen to this, because Buffalo and Cleveland are about the same size.
Right.
Plain Dealer. This one is particularly relevant because black journalists were disappearing from that paper allegedly.
Right.
And local television and newspapers.
Oof.
The NABJ said the organization deserves the award because job cuts and other changes. Now, I'm going to say that I think it's, I don't know. Black folks going after black folks, I've never been a fan of.
Right.
I don't see any other culture that does that. Like, we going to give a public thumbs down.
Yeah.
To somebody we don't agree with,
right?
But that it's I don't know. I'm torn, but I do like when I read about. Now I don't, and again, I'm not familiar with Cleveland Plain Dealer, but I do kind of support that some national organization somewhere needs to hold newsrooms accountable.
Right.
And because I'm not going to name national organizations that represent people of color, but you don't see a lot of that. You don't see our national organizations taking on this issue. And you know what? I'm at the point where I say whatever, right? You don't see the national NAACP in a big way saying, hey, whatever news network, because I think it goes beyond the local, but to the national network, but also to the local network to say, hey, we want to see more people of color that know our neighborhoods, that represent us, or at least know our culture to be in these conversations. So I ain't totally mad at them dealing, because they also dealt with so here's the deal. 2 Rust Belt cities, Cleveland, and then they gave the Thumb Downs Award to, maybe they were just doing newspapers, Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. And they talked about the same things, that they needed improvements in their practices. And so I'm really not mad about that.
So, and I think, because to what you just read, I think there's a difference. And I know there was a couple individuals, but I think if you give the Thumbs Down Award, it shouldn't be attacking necessarily one of our own. Now, you can hold them accountable in the conference and this, that, and the other, but you putting out a public statement, giving a public award to somebody who has a large platform and another black man. Now, if you wanted to go after, like you said, a CNN, a Fox, or whoever, CBS, like you have in the past,
right.
I think that makes sense. You go after the media conglomerate to say we are being unfairly treated. But to go after one person simply because you disagree, or you claim you want to hold him accountable because he's making different statements against black women compared to others, it begs the question: is disagreeing with black women also disrespecting them?
And let's give the disclaimer.
Yes.
We just talking about their process and
right,
whatever.
Right.
Like you said, somebody said, black women, we love you.
We love you.
So we are not, and I want to be clear about this. I don't know enough about, because I don't really, I don't watch sports like that. And so I've seen them on, but I don't think I've ever even looked at a full report. Mm-hmm. So this is just about a process, a system. And I often see us, and no disrespect to that organization, the NABJ, I don't know. I'm just voicing an opinion. At the end of the day, we got conglomerates, like you just said, mm-hmm. that are not doing the job of diversity.
Right.
We've got, I don't know what rating this guy has or anything else, but there's these. It seemed like we go after the fish and leave the whales.
Right. You didn't go after Scripps for firing.
Come on.
Like we just talked about it last week.
Right.
You didn't do that.
Scripps, yeah. And where's the outrage?
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, and the reason that I bring this stuff up, because even locally, I want people to be aware. I want them to be aware of what they're watching. But I'm dealing with conglomerates. I'm not coming on here and say, I'm talking about this one report. Now, I could. Mm-hmm. I definitely could.
I was going to say, we can be that show.
We can be that show and talk about individual reporters, but I gave
yes,
at least one of them in this city some grace. Mm-hmm. So you can have an attitude about our show last week, but I gave you grace.
Yep.
And if anybody wants to push the envelope, I'm all day pushing.
We here for it.
We here for it because I can go back to all your stories. I can go back to stories that you didn't do. I can go back to how you represent people of color. And then we could really have a conversation and then welcome you to the hood if that's where you want to come visit. At the end of the day, so he's got the thumbs down award, and let me reject, and I'm sorry, that's my fault. He has that award. What do you think that does for him as far as his career? Hurt him?
It does absolutely nothing. Like I said, he has his own platform. He's still I think he has over $100 million contract with ESPN. He has his own platform in contracts with Sirius XM. He has his own sponsorships. This does nothing for him. Honestly, I'm sure he was probably even mad he had to address it. And it's coming from his own people. Part of this, and this, we'll talk about the next piece in the next segment. But there's a part where I do believe that people don't like the fact that he can go on Fox News and be interviewed. He can go on Sean Hannity's show. He can go on Tucker Carlson's show. He can go on Chris Cuomo's show. He can go wherever he wants and interview. And because he disagrees with national democratic issues, he's the bad guy. And that's where I think he's right about the political piece. Now, the personal stuff with the black women, I think that's where you might have an argument because, again, is he just disagreeing or are you just mad at how he's saying it? But like his Jasmine Crockett's biggest concern was stop fighting Trump, fight for your district. And then people were all up in arms about that. So it's like you all up in arms about that. And he's just saying, like, if I was a voter in your district, I want you to stop fighting Trump and get some things done. Is
that what he said?
That was basically the whole thing of what he was wrapping up and trying to say about Jasmine Crockett. Like, you making all of these things in DCs and comments and disparaging remarks about Trump, but in government you ain't getting nothing done if you talking about the people you got to go to negotiate.
That's what you're saying. He said. I want to be clear.
Oh,
that ain't what you're saying.
No,
right.
That's not me. That was basically what he was saying about Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett. I'll put the title on her name while she got it. Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett.
Can black journalists publicly criticize black folks and not be accused of tearing black people down?
And see, that's so. And again, to his point, he's built his career talking about black athletes. He talks about black athletes, white
like
athletes.
you said, athletes, let's say even entertainers.
Yeah.
They get a pass.
That's the thing.
And let's be honest, one of the reasons they get a pass, they're filthy rich.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's like, don't nobody get mad. You got a $10 million contract, and somebody says you ain't play a good game. Ain't nobody get. And a black man can say it because I've seen Sports Center, everything else. A black man says it about a black man, and it's okay.
Yep.
A movie critic who is black, who says that Martin Lawrence, and this is, I'm just making this up.
Throwing it out there.
Martin Lawrence's last movie sucked.
Yeah.
Which I think it did. I'm not sure. But anyway, I'm not sure.
I don't remember.
It was a little traveling movie. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
But my point
Well, we'll go to the latest one. Kevin Hart.
That's what I meant, not Martin Lawrence.
Yeah, Kevin Hart.
Why? How did I mix that up? Kevin Hart. They're not going to be held to the cross because it's entertainment.
Yes.
It's sports. So you think when it came to politics,
I think
it becomes different.
I think that's where everyone drew the line because they pigeonholed him into sports, and that was always his issue. I don't want to be pigeonholed there. I want a broader platform, and I think it's also one of those things that we kind of saw it in New York State. It's like anytime someone is hinting or being pushed to a national level to potentially run for something. Now it's like, oh, let's put all the dirt on them. Let's find the smallest thing and talk about them. And I think that's also what it is. You want to continue to paint him down so he doesn't keep gaining momentum towards, because like I said, some people are, and he flirted with it, and then people were like, no, I think he really could run for president. If we can deal with this one, why couldn't we deal with an outspoken black man? And that's kind of the pace, and that's kind of what he said. Like, if we can vote him in, and he's just telling you how he feels, and we say that every week when we do our Trump update, he's like, why not somebody else who just speaks his mind and gives his open opinion? So I think, like I said, I don't want to call it a shaming campaign, but like you said, it's when he switched to politics. That's where I think people are like, hold on, you can't say that because you're not in your space. You're not in your realm. If a Roland Martin came out and said, could probably criticize Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, he might have felt it for like a couple of days, and eventually, but they would have respected it because he's in that space, and I think that is the bigger reason why. Now, cancel culture is real. Yeah, it really is.
But you think he survives this cancel? This?
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
With the largest, not one of the largest black journalist organizations.
Absolutely, because I don't think everyone in that organization was probably, I don't know whether if they vote on it or this is a committee. It would find me hard to believe that was a unanimous vote in that.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, in that convention. Because ultimately, if I'm in black journalism, I want to be on the level he's made it to. I would love to make it to a national network, $100 million contract, and then still have the ability to create my own platform and make millions over there too. Who wouldn't?
Do you think he'd have been criticized if he wasn't black? Or is that the reason?
I think that is the reason, and goes back to the point. Can we disagree with our queens and our sisters, whether it's you shoot the messenger or the message, and them feel like they're not being disrespected? Because and part of the smoke, and I get it, is also because when Trump came after him, he didn't have a forceful response.
Okay.
When a white sports journalist came at him, he didn't have a forceful response. They're saying he only has that forceful response when it is a black woman or it is a black person. And I find it hard to, the Trump and the white reporter, he just kind of addressed it and moved on. But I think, we love to drag stuff. Right. So when he addresses something, then it's like the back and forth. So then he has to come back and address it. So, yeah, he's not coming back with the same force because it was like they said their piece, I said my piece, we all move on. But I think now that's the culture piece of it. Like, we always feel like somebody got to have the last word. And he addressed it. And I think by last night, he had another reel up. He's been on TV.
Like addressing it or just moving on?
He just moved on. Like he addressed it on his Monday show, and he teased it. He was like, NABJ, you had your moment. I'm going to have mine. So he addressed it on his show. By Tuesday, he was talking about something else on the social media.
Okay, here's just a question I have.
Yep.
That maybe I missed. Are you aware because now this is national news.
Yep. He's been everywhere.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
You keep up with this stuff. Are you aware of any other culture that their national organizations go after each other? Like, let's just be any?
I can't think of any. I can't, because you think about it, well, that's entertainment, but yeah, I can't. I don't think, I don't think when you go to a film festival, they're not saying, here's the award for the worst movie that came out this year.
Right.
And so you don't give out an award for the worst sports play of the year. You don't give out an award for the worst thing of anything. And so now it's like, when we get together, it's like, oh, I'm going to give you out a person that looks like you a worst award. I think that's the other stain to it.
Because I've been looking for, like, the Italians. I've been looking for, like, the Bangladesh. I've been looking at a lot of different stuff to find that. And it just seems... And I don't want to be in the fight. I'm just asking the questions. Because maybe I missed that. Because this is big news.
Yeah, it's been everywhere. And like I said, he's been getting calls on his tour of, again, all the same platforms he's regularly on, Fox News, Hannity, Cuomo, everything else. And they're asking him about it. So whether you like the fact that he went on Fox News, because you did this, you have white conservative stations like, hey, come on our show and talk about it. And
so did they just advance his platform?
I think they did. Because, again, now when he gets asked the question, do you disparage black women? And he's like, no, I love them and blah, blah, blah. But here's the reason why I said what I said. And then they agree. Now you have the D.L. Hugleys and all these other people like, see, he's not for us. But again, when he asked the president of NABJ to come on his show and have a conversation, she said, oh, we should have a private one first. But they didn't have the respect to say, hey, tomorrow night we giving you the thumbs down award privately. So I think that's the stain in the rub of this whole thing.
Well, when we come back, speaking of the party.
Yeah.
That I don't think the National Party is thrilled with me right now because we keep asking that question about what are we doing?
What are we doing here?
And so that's not sitting well with some people, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Because I think if we don't, and that's not, I'm talking about the party. I ain't talking about black folks.
Yep.
I'm talking about the party.
Yep.
But when we come back, Atlanta was in the running, or they tried to be in the running for the Democratic National Convention in 2028, and they just got word. And the word is this: no, the mayor is furious. Well, yeah, he's upset. Some people are upset with the Democratic Party and their choice to not even put Atlanta in the final three.
Not even in the hat.
They said, nah. We're going to come back and talk about it. We're going to hear what some of the news agencies in Atlanta are saying about it. We'll be right back.
When it comes to something as personal as your clothes, you need to deal with somebody you can trust. That's why so many people turn to Hobson's Dry Cleaning, conveniently located in the heart of the community at 874 East Delavan at the corner of Wyoming.
When you take your clothes to Hobson's, you can trust that they'll be ready on time.
You can trust that your whites will be white.
You can trust that you'll always get a fair price and service with a smile.
You can even trust that you won't have to get out of your car if you don't want to. Hobson's has a drive-through window for your convenience.
Trust is what it's all about at Hobson's Dry Cleaning.
Hobson's Dry Cleaning, your one-stop dry cleaners serving the community for over 30 years at 874 East Delavan at the corner of Wyoming. Call 891-8298. That's 891-8298.
Brian K. Lewis Funeral Home has 3 locations to serve you in Buffalo. 347 Peckham, 2258 Bailey Avenue, and Providence Memorial Chapel at 1275 Sycamore. Brian K. Lewis Funeral Homes offers traditional services, and they have services for all faiths. And at Brian K. Lewis Funeral Homes, they have air-conditioned parlors and chapels. Financing is available, as is limousine service. At those difficult moments in your life, Brian K. Lewis Funeral Homes is available where you are with counseling services. Call toll-free 877-885-7734. That's 877-885-7734. Or locally 845-5545. Brian K. Lewis Funeral Homes. We are here to serve you, here to serve this present age. Call today, toll-free 877-885-7734. Or email info@brianklewisfuneralhome.com.
And if you'd like to be a sponsor of Power to the People, let us know. You can contact us through any of our social media outlets and let us know. You'd be interested. Buffalo, Atlanta. We are an equal opportunity. Equal
Absolutely.
Opportunity. I do on Facebook a lot of these, not a lot, but food reviews. I'm going to try to shout out to some of them. Now, I don't do it for everyone that I eat. Mm-hmm. But this week in Buffalo, did have a chance to stop at, and this is why I want you to know the power of our voice saying something. I stopped at Destiny's Restaurant on High in Michigan.
Oh, okay.
And so I just wanted some wings because they had 85-cent wing day on Wednesday. Didn't know what to expect, but they came through.
Wow.
At Destiny's, and then gave me a piece of lemon pepper fish. Now, Atlanta loves lemon pepper wings.
Yeah, yes, they do.
Y'all can have it. My Atlanta family, y'all can have that. We over on the Buffalo side do buffalo wings. I got buffalo wings. He gave me the fish. I'm telling you, today is Friday. If you want some good fish, if you like lemon pepper. Yep. Try them out. Destiny's. This is your free plug. But others, you want to help sponsor and keep the show in the air. Let us know. You can sponsor for 1 week if you want. You don't have to be a full-time sponsor like Brian K. Lewis has been or Hobson's. You can sponsor 1 week of the show.
Trust me, we have a package for you. If it's an episode, you want to sponsor a segment, the new studio when we move back in, there is a package for you.
For you. So that one is free. Others, you got to pay.
Yes, sir.
All right, Atlanta wanted to be in the running for the 2028 Democratic National Convention, and some people feel like they were snubbed. And listen to this piece from the mayor of Atlanta, and this is from AtlantaNewsFirst.com. Let's hear our mayor. Well, after the commercial, because I'm too cheap to do commercials. Here we go.
Breaking news at noon. The city of Atlanta losing out once again on the bid to host the 2028 Democratic National Convention. We now have reaction from Atlanta's mayor, who says he found out through the press.
Mayor Andre Dickens says his party is, quote, abandoning Atlanta, abandoning the South, and once again abandoning black voters. Atlanta News First was able to obtain the letter independently, and it is addressed to local and national Democrats. So let's bring it to you right here. It says in part, quote, the DNC continues to make the wrong choices. This decision could not have been based on Atlanta's ability to host major events. For the DNC to not even include Atlanta in the short list means that the DNC does not consider Atlanta or Georgia relevant to the past, present, or future of the Democratic Party. Now, Democrats have narrowed their options to Boston, Denver, and Philadelphia, again eliminating Atlanta and Chicago from consideration. Atlanta city leaders had previously approved up to $36 million in funding to support a convention bid. And Mayor Dickens had argued that the city's battleground state status made it a no-brainer choice to host the convention.
Democratic National Committee Chairman Ken Martin said in a statement that all cities put forward incredibly strong bids, and he promised the convention would be, quote, an inspiring celebration of our party's future nominee. A final decision is expected to be made later this year by party leaders.
Meanwhile, the 2028 Republican National Convention is going to be held in Houston, Texas. Oof. Of course, we're going to be digging into this story, into the DNC's decision and what this could mean for candidates on the ballot for this year's midterm elections. That'll be this weekend during an all-new edition of On the Record. You can watch that Sunday morning at 11.
All right, you don't need to watch that.
Oh, right. Yeah, thanks. So the mayor has spoken out. Now, when they said that it was going to be in Houston, you made a noise. Why?
Listen, everybody knows Houston is becoming the Black Mecca West, and the Republican Party is going to Houston. That's a slap in the face, especially if you're not going to consider, I would say, even Chicago, Atlanta or Chicago. With the groundswell, I would have chosen Atlanta only because the South is going to rise again, and you need that battleground, and it would also strengthen those in Georgia trying to run. That's just a.
But it's well, here's the wild part. So they are still considering, at least with press time, Boston, Denver, and Philly. They've been to Philly,
been to Denver,
been to Denver.
I don't know the last time they've been to Boston, but you've done both already. You've done it probably all three before.
So a city that just hosted one of the largest sporting events in the world.
Yeah. A city that's had the Super Bowl multiple times.
And I'm not saying it, by the way, we need to talk about the fact that Buffalo can never host a Super Bowl. That's what I heard.
Oh, well, we can close to the stadium because I was there.
Yeah. So the fact that they weren't even in the running, is that a deal? I mean, is that a deal? Is that a thing because Atlanta has so many black folks, or because Atlanta other reasons? Could it possibly be? I wish they would have just said at least why. Because when Buffalo gets turned down, and I know as president of Common Council and for years working along with our bureau for conventions and our visitors bureau, that people would turn down conventions. I remember one of my first issues was Main Street, and conventions would not come because they would send people ahead. And Main Street was so bad as far as across from the Hyatt and other places, and I had to work with those business owners to get it turned around. So they would literally say to the city, we didn't choose Buffalo because of this. You don't have enough hotels. You don't have this. You don't have that. And that gives you we know we need to do this. Because I'm not seeing in any reports of why the DNC said, we're not even putting your name in the hat.
Not in the hat. Not anywhere. And like I said, you're talking about a place that can hold FIFA World Cup,
Super Bowl.
The Super Bowl, other major events. I was just there. They had a fight going on in State Farm. They had a soccer game going on in Mercedes-Benz, and downtown was just flooded. The cities that can handle it know how to handle it, know what to do, and to not consider it. You can't tell me they don't have enough hotels. You can't tell me there's not a highway access in and out. There's just nothing you could tell me that.
I just wish they had said why.
Exactly.
Because if you say why, see, when things are not transparent, that's when people start having doubt.
Yeah, I mean, you create speculation.
They create speculation, their own narrative, and at the end of the day, if it is that, well, you got this many conventions happening while we want to come, say it.
Yes.
And then we're not. But here's the question. We just talked about this.
Yep.
It is the saying it's because a city that's basically full of black folks.
Yeah.
And you're not considering it, so the Democratic Party is not sensitive to black folks. Is that fair?
I think, as we just said, I think you allow the Atlanta mayor to speculate. Mayor Dickens, you allow him to speculate. I can't say he's right or wrong. I don't know if he heard undertones of this is what's going on and this is why you're not being chosen. But it is a slap in the face. Like, if you didn't even have a conversation with him, if you didn't have a conversation with the state Democratic chair, like, somebody should have been in the room. And like you said, even if you didn't make it public, the state Democratic chair, if you broke it down to the Georgia Democratic chair, he could have called Mayor Dickens and be like, hey, this is what they said. And then he doesn't have to send a letter to the national committee. Again, where we fail on this side, whether it's people of color or liberals, we don't know how to keep our stuff inside. And,
I agree.
And we could just, a lot of this can be hashed out just in a room, having a conversation, making a phone call. But instead, we have to go public because nobody wants to talk.
Okay, here's a question. I'm just throwing it out there.
Yep.
I'm already in trouble enough with the National Democratic Party. Do you think black folks are starting to feel that the National Democratic Party takes black voters for granted?
Yes, you are starting to see that more and more outcry. And it is not because, there's the far left that are crying out. I won't say crying like it's a bad thing, but they're crying out for certain things to happen. But you have enough of us that's just like, hey man, I just want to be able to buy groceries. I want to be able not to have to choose, am I paying car insurance or my kids' medication? Like, there's enough of us that's just like, we just want good quality of life. And I think, again, as you asked some of the electeds that we have had the pleasure to interview, when do we stop coming up and just battling the current administration and say, this is what our plan is.
Yeah.
This is what our proposal is. It might take meeting with our Congressional Black Caucus and saying, hey, what is y'all agenda? So we can blend it into the national party. And I think that's where, again, where you can start feeling that rub. Because, again, if they're not in the room, I know you ain't listening to me.
Right.
If you're not listening to Congressional Black Caucus, you ain't listening to us.
Right.
So yeah, I think it is a slap in the face. But just like the previous conversation, if the CBC ain't saying anything, and they're just part of the get along gang, now voters have to hold them accountable because we're the ones that put you in the Congress so you can be a part of the CBC. So yeah, something's got to happen.
I mean, black voters, as in the last few decades, I think, have shown this loyalty to the party.
Yes.
That is somewhat unprecedented.
Yeah.
To say, listen, we trying to hang in here, but we also need the respect of being very loyal voters to the party. And if the party doesn't understand that all politics is local and that you're not just in D.C., but what you do in D.C. affects the streets of Atlanta, affects us in Buffalo and all over. And if there isn't that kind of respect for us of color, I think that's where you start to see not just where you talk about democratic socialists.
Right.
But I think it is easier for somebody to say, well, let me look over here.
Right.
Because we have somebody locally right now who's saying, hey, I'm looking at the Republican Party, right?
Yep.
I'm looking at this because they're going, where's that respect?
Yes.
And I think the same way, and churches and denominations have had to learn this.
Yep.
You got a church full of of people who are faithful and loyal, and then you get a couple stars in your church, and all of a sudden the workers don't mean nothing no more.
Right.
And it's like, oh, we playing up to this one because they tithes and offerings.
Yep.
We playing up to this one, and then when something comes up, now your loyal one's like, no, go over there.
Nah.
That's where you've been because
Go back
what
to
about
Boo Boo.
us, right?
Yeah.
What about us at the end of the day? And I think I talked about last week when one of our federal representatives was at church the other week, and he talked about the power of God in the house. And when I got upset, it ain't just the power of God.
Right.
It's the power of the vote. Because if I'm over here doing 3 services and, in 2 locations and all these people are coming in, they're also coming in with a vote. And if you don't think this vote is important,
Absolutely.
we can't afford to be in a position where you just where you gaslight us.
Yep.
And I think that having somebody as big as the mayor of Atlanta say, I ain't feeling y'all right now.
No.
And I'm not feeling you all on the basis of my people.
Yep.
And think about it. He's the mayor of Atlanta, but he could be having dreams of becoming the governor and all that. Which, by the way, we got more black people running for governor right now across the United States than we ever have.
Well, and shout out because in case people forgot, Keisha Lance Bottom is still the Democratic nominee for governor in Atlanta and Georgia. And as somebody said, she needs the resources. So if you're looking for somebody,
don't forget sis.
Right.
Don't forget sis. So I think that all of this is good to be able to call on our party. And I think what we talked about earlier, are we bad because we're calling out, because Democratic Party isn't a black party.
No, it's not.
It's a party. And all I say is the party needs to always remember the lowest rung.
Absolutely.
I mean, at the end of the day, I was talking to another pastor, and people in Atlanta wouldn't know this, but we do a lot of homegoings.
Right.
We if some of them, if people can't afford it, we figure out a way. We work with crime victims. We do all kinds of stuff. But when I walked in church today, after having several funerals this week, and have a whole team that's there to work, and one of the pastors said to me one time, "How do you get so many people want to come to work? Volunteer to help. It's about how you treat people.
Absolutely.
It's about, if I walked in there like I was the king of Zamunda with 15 armor bearers and I don't touch the pastor. Ain't nobody trying to work for you.
No, absolutely
Because
not.
they're just entertained by you.
Absolutely.
At the end of the day, I'm coming in, I'm rearranging stuff. I pick up, and I'm not blowing my horn. What I'm saying is about our party is our party has to understand that black folks have held on with this party for a long time. And not that anybody's trying to go a different way. Some people will look if they're not valued.
Yeah, and like you said, the history of it, like we only went Democratic with President John F. Kennedy.
Ain't been that long.
So it hasn't been that long since there was the flip. That's why they call them some of them are called the Lincoln Republicans. Some of them are still some of the older blacks Americans are still Republicans because that's what they remember.
Absolutely.
And so we've only been here, 60, 80 years. And I think that's what people forget. So, and it wasn't like Camelot was fully supportive of black folk. It was one of them that had the vision that said, hey, Dr. King getting a little momentum here in the South.
Absolutely.
So we should see what he's talking about and bring some of these things into the agenda. So but again, even if that one Kennedy was like, just had the foresight enough to say, there's a people that need to be heard. Let's bring them on board. That's all we're asking now. Just somebody be the voice to say, hey, we can't just assume that this group of people are just going to be here in November or in primaries, because they might not. And we've seen it when black folks sit home.
And black and brown.
Black and brown sit home.
Look at what happened in New York City.
Yes. So that they get left out there, we get left out there, and then you have these tremendous candidates of color that then feel defeated because their own people didn't support them, because your larger issue is with the national party, not the local candidate.
Come on. Since 1789, only 3 black governors have ever been elected in the United States.
Wow.
Since 1789.
Wow.
All Democrats, all men. This year is unprecedented. I said the only year, but I sounded like Trump when I said it. The bigger than ever been, so let me take that back. 8 black major party gubernatorial nominees.
Wow.
Are on the November ballot.
That means they won their Democratic primary.
So one just won in Florida.
Oh, yeah, I did see that.
Brother.
Yeah, I did see
now,
that.
Now, you know, and he's backed by Trump.
Yeah.
Now, is it going to sting more to have a brother as governor of Florida bringing in Trumptonian?
Well, I mean, one of our black senators is, from South Carolina, and he grins it up with his clear wife. So,
Democrats are Keisha Lance Bottom, Georgia, the former Atlanta mayor, Aaron Ford, and I think, and this is me not knowing Georgia politics, if she doesn't make it, I do believe the current mayor, who is very popular, may try.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Ford of Nevada, I didn't even know that, Nevada's first black attorney general.
Oh, wow.
Is now a Democratic nominee. Jermaine Johnson out of South Carolina, and David Crowley out of Wisconsin. Now, they're on the ballot.
Yeah.
Republicans outnumber. No, it's equal because it's 4 Democrats, 4 Republicans.
Okay.
Byron Donalds in Florida. He's a U.S. congressman. He just won the nomination this week, becoming the 8th black major party nominee. Now, it's really hard to beat a Republican in the state of Florida.
Yeah, I mean, it's been done. I mean, I don't think anyone's won it nationally since, the alleged the Bush-Gore campaign. But, that's still up for debate.
John James out of Michigan, 2-term GOP congressman, is the Republican nominee black.
Wow.
Lisa DeMuth, Minnesota,
Wow.
as the state's first black House Speaker. She's now the Republican nominee, saying, quote, I recognize the historic state we are in right now. And then finally, in Virginia, Winsome Earl Sears, the sitting lieutenant governor, is the Republican nominee in a race decided earlier this year.
Wow.
And so political observers note Democrats are especially, and this from the LA Times, are especially emphasizing their black candidates this cycle after the Supreme Court cleared the way for states to redraw legislative districts that are majority or plurality non-white. Now, here's what I got to say about it. Basically, these folks are redrawing federal lines when they feel like it.
Absolutely.
The city of Buffalo draws it every 10 years after the census. Mm-hmm. And the last time we redrew it after hearings, after months. You still had people come up, attack locally.
Absolutely.
I want to know, where are these voices when we talking about where the real money is?
Yep.
Buffalo can barely pay its bills.
Mm-hmm.
The federal government, we trillions of dollars in debt, but we still building new helipads.
Well,
the man just built a new helipad.
I know, signed it and everything. It's crazy. But and now in a rush to get his ballroom done before the courts stop the work. So that's interesting. But the issue in New York is the legislature passed an independent redistricting committee. So no matter what the state Supreme Court did, they would have to reverse state law to allow what the Governor Hochul said, like, if we want to do that, we can open it up and do it in New York, just like Governor Newsom did in California. So, but again, it would have to go to our independent committee, which would draw it out even longer.
I think she did the right thing with that.
Absolutely.
Because at the end of the day, you don't want this, what is happening all over the United States.
Absolutely.
We decide we're going to redraw the line so that we can hold on to power.
In the middle of elections cycles.
Here's my question again. Where are all of the local activists who know where City Hall is, but your federal government is crickets?
Crickets.
I ain't seen no. It is sometimes little buses going to lobby day and all that.
Yep.
But where's the outrage? Except, here we go, No King's Day. I get it. But when we get done with No King's Day,
Who kinging themselves to D.C.?
What are we doing?
Yeah.
If we say no kings, what's the alternative?
Yep.
If it's no kings, then what are we supposed to do? Let's also make sure that agenda that we have is clear.
Mm-hmm.
Because I see people getting tired of going along to get along.
Yep.
When it's not benefiting us at the end of the day.
Completely agree.
So the mayor of Atlanta ain't holding no punches. I guess he said, if y'all don't support me if I run for governor, and that's what I like. I like people who say, if you don't support me, you don't support me.
That's it.
But I got a voice, I got a platform, and I'm
Yes.
here for a reason.
Yes.
And I get to speak up. But I'm going to tell you, it's people like that then they pay attention to.
Right.
As long as we kumbaya in certain people.
Shinning and grinning.
And grinning, but once you stand up and say, wait a minute, what are we doing? Now you the bad guy.
Yep.
Now you going against the party. This ain't going against the party. Because locally, I talked to the party, and when I did think the party wasn't listening, I was very vocal. Now I got a better relationship with the party.
Yep.
You know me, I crossed a whole lot of lines to bring unity or at least peace in our community.
Mm-hmm.
And I gave, I took hits from people who were supporting me because I was saying to all black folks, listen, we can't afford to be divided.
No, we can't.
Our numbers are, listen to this. I just drove my tail down a street that everybody on that street used to be Africans living in America. Now, it's still Africans, but they ain't the same African Americans.
Say how many poodles and stuff you say.
No, it wasn't even that, bro. It was how many people was getting ready to go to the mosque.
Yeah.
These businesses that we doing facades.
Just because they brown. No,
and I ain't mad at them. I keep telling people, everybody who want to hate them, I ain't mad at them. Because that what we should be doing when we having all these conventions, y'all need to have them come in and teach.
Absolutely.
Because you ain't listening. Matter of fact, grandson, give me that shirt. This shirt. You ain't listening because if it comes from the mouth of a no, not that one. No. You ain't listening when it come out of our mouth. Maybe we should have them come in and teach us how to live together in a house, how to build wealth, and how not to spend everything we have.
Yeah, some community economics.
Yeah. By the way, now this is just I got a different pattern coming. They thought I wanted this for Sunday. What'd I say?
Kwanzaa every day.
Kwanzaa every day.
Yep.
And look at the back. Got all of the days.
Principles. Okay.
But we redesigning this.
Okay.
But by next showtime, we'll start taking orders of Kwanzaa all day. And so I want to be clear, a portion of the proceeds are going to go to our local Kwanzaa committee for their celebration this year. So our youth are helping this fundraiser. So our youth will also benefit because we've been taking them out of town. We have hired a new youth directors. But I wanted to support the local organizers. And it's Kwanzaa. Let me put it up again. Every day. Not just Christmas, every day. That's what we're talking about over here. Oh, good catch, Stephen Kirk. What's the guy's name?
Who?
What's that guy? Stephen. Who was we just talking about?
Stephen A. Smith.
Stephen A. Smith. I just threw it to Stephen A. Smith Jr. I'm just kidding. My grandson will have none of those feelings. All right, I think we almost out of time. Little Haiti in Miami is emptied out. We only got a minute. 30. Little Haiti, they said, is emptied out after Trump starts sending everybody back.
I believe it. I drove through there about a month ago, and it was thin. It was thinning out. But
the Haitians gone.
Yeah, it's getting a little light.
It's such a serious. I can't even deal with it. And flock camera, these flock cameras, these people are spray painting the cameras.
They should.
No, they shouldn't.
No, they shouldn't. I'm sorry.
Matter of fact,
No,
they just arrested somebody in Florida. He sprayed 2 of them. And you want to know how he got caught?
On camera?
Other people's cameras, dumb. Somebody's.
That's a thumbs down award.
Thumbs down. Wish I could find out who stole my electric drill out of my garage. My electric drill gone, but it's okay because that one was a Ryobi. I'm going to buy me a DeWalt brushless today.
Okay,
I'm stepping up the game.
Yeah, Milwaukee too. They also good too.
I want DeWalt. I want DeWalt brushless, the yellow. It looks so like I'm a real. So y'all can have that Ryobi. I'm going to get the thing. Listen, thank you, Brian K. Lewis Funeral Home, and thank you also, Hobson's, the Doctor of Dry Cleaning. Until next week, power to the people.